red jacket, you glad you dug my jive.
Have some of this hidey ho with me. Have some nicotine, it's a scream and it's free. Have it in your food, you can have it with your tea. As you're thinking and you're pondering and wonder what it be. Hidey ho is a Callaway vibe. Where you're hip and you're clean and you ain't taking no drive. Speaking of jive, I think I was on the label that was a long time ago.
Well, welcome to an Mt Hood Cigar Podcast. How are you guys?
It's good. Doing good.
We have a special guest with us today, John from Just Ron. Welcome and thank you for coming. We've also got some cigars that we are going to try to pair with this new rum that was just released and we're super excited about. I'm going to try mine, just kick it off. It's the Cane and Maduro. So my factory is the Nub, the larger version. I'm pretty excited about that. What about you? What do you got?
This is, was at the Macaduro 19.
The Macaduro 97
Yeah.
from Maduro.
It smelled good. I think it'll go really well with that particular rum.
Got that nice ring on there too.
Oh, yeah.
This thing. It's heavy, man. That's a good ounce or so.
When I go golfing, if this works out, man, that'll keep me right down to the note.
Yeah, sure will. I wonder if that thing would actually heat up.
And I will find out later. I'm already highlighting this thing.
What are you smoking?
I'm smoking the Southern Draw Rose Sheraton.
Yeah.
It is not giving me a pull to be able to get the singlet to it.
Like more of that edge of the bottom.
Yeah, into the bottom.
Mm.
Real, what are you smoking today?
Just like John, I'm doing the Macanudo Vintage 1997.
Oh, you're here at UMC.
Yep. Yeah, I'm over here in the corner.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
This was a good call. I can tell you already. This was a really good call.
Tasting it. Yeah, the taste coming.
Yeah.
So, Joe, what did you bring us today?
I brought a little bottle of Just Rum. It's our 5-year anniversary release. So it's got a little doubloon on it that for our premium releases, we're going to put these doubloons on banner year releases, 5-year, 7-year, 10, 12, 15. Beyond that, you'll have to deal with my son. But yeah, should be really, really good. Crack it open here and get some pours going to see what's what.
See, we get some notes cooked out.
Yeah. So this is 55% by volume. It is the first blended rum that we've done.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's a blend of a 3-year rum, the 3-year Oregon Oak that we bottled up last year,
Okay.
and a Queen Share, and then our white Uncle John's cut. So I see what we got here. Pour itself on it. We go. Hand over glasses, or do you want to pour in? Show ladder. Yeah, feel free.
It's got a little gold coin. I don't know if you can see that. The doubloon.
It's called the Bloom.
A doubloon.
Why is it?
That was just, it's a Spanish coin from like antiquity, and I thought it would be cool, so we decided to go with a copper label, actually a piece of copper for the label. We want to make the bottle look old. It's our very first really aged release, and we want to make it special. It's a banner year, first 5 years in business, so yeah.
Wow. That's so amazing.
It is my favorite rum that we have done to date.
Wow.
How many rums would you say you've done to date? Like, you've been in business how long?
5 years.
5 years? And
9
different rums?
9 different rums. We've had our base, we have 6 rums that are around all of the time that are just our base rums. Black Sherry, white, Uncle John's cut, which is full strength white, spiced, and then an oak rested and a maple rested. And then we've done a 3-year oak, a 3-year maple, a 2-year American white oak that we have released, and then this 5-year. We've done a full maple barrel rum that we've never released before. Because it was an experiment, just 2 small barrels. They were 10-gallon barrels, and those barrels leak a lot, so we didn't get enough to release any. But it was so good, we decided to order bigger barrels, and we'll be releasing that later this year. It's nice. Yeah, it's fun. And then my good friend Chris, man, gets me into cigars, and all of a sudden it's magic.
What is better than rum and a cigar? I don't know.
right?
Not much there. I'll tell you right now, right off the bat, just the light up of the King M. Maduro. This is possibly a match made in heaven. This is really delicious. It's pronounces some notes I haven't tasted this before. So that's not sure it's a combo of that rum with the cigar or not, but very good so far. Others.
That's beautiful. That is. I thought it was good. You know me, I love the Partagas. I love the tobacco. But I got to
That out. That's something new. That's not why I don't live a cigar.
yeah, and it goes really, really well with this. Really well.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Alan, you
I'm still letting the notes just kind of, I've only had one sip so far. I'm going to let the taste buds kind of start waking up so I can kind of start enjoying the notes as they are as a pair. But definitely taking a sip of that, it has a really strong presence, very smoky. This is the rum, and then it just kind of starts waking things up. And so now it's like, oh, I want another sip on this and another.
Fuck.
This is quite nice and almost caramel.
Yeah, that is a tasty cigar. What I'm smoking is a little on the lighter side, and I actually had a hard time getting a good light on this. It seemed to have kind of a hard tip on it that didn't want to kind of let the draw through too much, but it's starting to loosen up. So I think once I kind of get some good draws on this, I'll be able to start pairing it a little bit better, see how the tastes complement each other.
Did it open up for you a little bit?
A little bit once I knocked off the hard swap.
You think a punch would have been better on that, or
No, I have a great cut. It was the tip where I got it. It's the spot that had kind of a block, if you want to call it. It was hard. And this cigar has 3 ratings. I think it was one of the highest rated cigars.
Right. In 2019, yeah.
So this is my first time actually smoking this, and so far it's decent if I can just get a good draw out of it.
So is your rum worldwide?
no, not yet. We're in Oregon and Washington, and then we do have a little bit of presence around the U.S. People that call in and order some and what have you, or hit us up on socials. But we were working on it. I really would like to get at least half of the nation within the next 3 years.
Within 3 years.
Yeah. So we've got the volume, we can do that. It's just a matter of getting people requesting it and people knowing what's out there. So we participate in a couple of other podcasts that are, rum based.
Oh, right.
So I know we do like the Miami Rum Renaissance Festival, and we'll do a couple of others. So just about getting the name out. Absolutely. People trying it, because, rum's got a bad reputation in this country. It's something that people all the time tell me, oh, I drank too much rum in college. I'm like, yeah, you drank really cheap rum in college. It's the price.
Sad rum. Yeah, mixing. So rum, traditionally, when I think about rum, I think of it as like more of a mixer. You mix things with it. I'd never just go to the bar and drink rum. Like, that's just not a thing.
Right?
But this does not taste like you'd want to mix it. Like you almost don't want to mix it because it has such a good flavor. I mean, if you mix it, you're going to lose. That will tell how wonderful it is.
Yeah,
It's definitely a sipper. A sipping rum.
and you just look at the legs and the glass, man. It is
And I would even add, for the people who are really into bourbons, this is a really great alternative. If you just want a nice little break from your bourbons, I find, especially this one, the 5-year is phenomenal. But your maple and especially the oak rums, I think, are just fantastic. Kind of keep in your little whiskey collection, and keep it as little extra rums, and then find a cigar to pair with it one night.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of my trip to Cuba. This rums and cigars, grumbly. They go together.
Yeah, amazingly enough.
So how did it, you started doing just rum, and with the name, why, how did it all start?
A long, drawn-out story that I'll shorten up. I lived in Australia for a period of time, and that's when I got into actually drinking good liquor. Like Jack Daniels in Australia was $64 a fifth, and I just couldn't do it, especially when I could get a 12-year-old Albalor Scotch for $72. So that got me into drinking cleaner, better spirits. And when I came back home, I couldn't go back to what I was drinking before. It just didn't taste good anymore. Then I took a trip to Central America where I picked up a bottle of rum as a joke because rum had always been just a mixer. And then I had it in my liquor cabinet, sat there for a while. When I finally got into it, it was a rum very similar in that it was very simple. I was shocked because I didn't want to mix anything in it. And while I was living in Australia, I inherited a pot still from my great uncle. I'm also a bit of a history buff. The rum that I brought back was so good, it sent me down a rabbit hole of rum research. And then I found out that rum was originally done in pot stills. And I'm like, I have one of those. And I was drinking. So it was like, well, what did that rum taste like? And well, the rest is history. One bad drunk decision leads to another. You order some product, it shows up at your door, you mix it up, turns out good, you share with friends. Sooner or later, somebody comes knocking, you get scared because you think they're a police officer. Was that bit of the grand? It's how it went down. Like, oh my God.
Would you get my license?
Yeah. So I was like, well, if someone's actually going to help me down, right, maybe I should consider the craft distilling thing. And I was living in Washington at the time. And Washington won't let you do a craft distillery unless 51% of what you use to make your spirit is a Washington agricultural product. And Oregon doesn't care. So you won't find any distilleries in Washington doing rum. And rum is all we do. So hence the name, Just Rum.
You okay with that?
So a couple of podcasts ago, we actually had your distiller, John, who was here. He actually was talking up on the Queen.
Oh, the Queen Share?
Yes.
That's a historically accurate depiction of rum. In that back in the day, distilleries would pay their taxes in product. They wouldn't pay them in coin. And there were no vineyards here in the New World, so the wine and brandies would get shipped over in barrels, and then the distilleries would send rum back. And by the time it got back there, it had absorbed some of the characteristics of what had been in the barrel before, and specifically wines or brandies or what have you. And it was really much more flavorful and more potent, but it got reserved for royalty at state dinners, and that's where the term Queen Share came from. Now, the distilleries that were over here, most of the rum drank over here was all white rum, or if they would mix it up with fruit juices or spices, it wasn't a barrel-aged product over here. And the distilleries were redistilling their tails, basically their garbage, to put in the barrels to send back. So it was kind of like sticking it to the man, so to speak. But by the time it got over there, it was so good, it was a thing. And they really desired it on the other side of the pond. And when I found out about the Queen Share, how to make it and what have you from another friend of mine that's a distiller, I thought, well, we should do this. And it's pretty good.
What proof is the rum?
This rum or the Queen Share?
This rum.
This rum here is 110 proof, 55% by volume.
You taste it.
Yeah.
No. It's smooth, but it's also got that at the end, that kick.
Little heat.
It has a little heat.
Actually, I like it's got a good, strong smokiness flavor on entering the mouth, I find, which I really like. And then it kind of calms down and
Kind of that
relaxing.
So caramel note out of it. Caramel note. I'm picking up a floral.
That would be the Queen Share that was blended into it.
Okay.
So the floral is going to come from the Queen Share. The buttery feel on the mouth is going to come from the Queen Share because there are more oils in that.
Okay.
And then the Uncle John's cut is some of your lighter florals because that's just distilled cane juice. So you're getting that in there as well. You'll get a little bit of that sugar cane essence that still comes through the distillate. And then the oakiness comes from the 3-year Oregon oak that we did, which was really smoky. And I think this is a great balance as far as a blend goes. Yeah.
So along with this, the cane and Maduro is what I chose to smoke to pair with this particular rum. I actually have, it's when you pair, it's kind of Rue could probably get more into the pairing of how you do that, but I get confused, I guess. Sometimes I'll pick up a little note here, and I'll take a pull on a cigar, and I'm wondering if it's the note coming from the cigar or the rum. Maybe you kind of enlighten us on how you differentiate, because you've done a lot of pairings. So what do you think is the way that...
I think it's a little bit of the timing that you do it. So a lot of times when I'm by myself, I'm just kind of enjoying a cigar. I actually like to allow the whiskey, the bourbon, to kind of sit in the mouth just for a few seconds, and then just kind of let it soak in, swallow it, And then I usually like to wait a little bit before I take a puff, and then I do take a puff, and then I can kind of get a couple different notes coming out from both of them. And then usually after about 3 to 5 puffs, the whatever I'm drinking has really calmed down, and so now it's more or less what I'm smoking is where I'm actually grabbing more of the notes from that. So
you find that as you get further into the cigar, you'll get, and as you let the palate rest from the alcohol, then you'll start picking up more notes.
So that's how you through tasting the alcohol and then waiting and smoking a cigar, that's how you can kind of sense if the notes complement each other or not. Because the alcohol is going to sit in your mouth, clear your palate some, and then once you take that puff of the cigar, it kind of enhances the flavors of what you're tasting in the cigar.
What I like is I had a few puffs before I sent my rum, but I already know what my rum tastes like, so I know where it is with that. I wanted to taste the cigar before the rum influence, because to me, a good pairing is when enjoyed together. It's better than either one of them separately, right? This was a good cigar the first couple of puffs. So when I have just a little bit of rum on the sides of my tongue, and then I take a draw, it is nice. Oh yeah, that's where I get that caramel from. Because I don't get a full-on caramel when I'm sipping the rum, and I didn't get a full-on caramel with the cigar. But after I took a sip and my tongue was still wet and I drew it in, it was just beautiful.
I'm getting a lot of caramel out of this as well. And then there's either cashew or almond in there, a lot of nut tones, just like this one, which I've tasted before.
something I look to me represent a great thing is when you're done. You're done for the night, and before you go brush your teeth or you do anything else, what's your palate like? And if you're sitting there going, I really want to just sit here and enjoy kind of like what's going on in my mouth, then I think you did a good job at pairing. If you're like, okay, I'm done, I can kind of move on and, get ready for bed or for dinner or whatever you decide to do it. And then the pairing maybe was just fine. So I love it when after, I smoke in the evenings, usually around 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's more the last thing I do. But I love it when I'm done and it's just still there. The combination of the two, it's just fantastic. I really enjoy the flavor there.
This was a good choice. I thought about the tobacco because I was very familiar with it, and I thought that it would go well with this. This one is not as sweet.
That's an incredibly different smoking.
Yeah. This not having that sweet route, I think is really, really, really awesome. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Good choice.
This is a nice turn as well. How about you?
I think this cigar is doing pretty good. It's a little lighter in flavor, and I'm used to smoking more your full flavored cigars. So, I think that the rum might be a little overpowering for this cigar to complement too well. So, I don't think I would say that this is the perfect cigar to go with it from.
So maybe a Maduro.
I think something darker
is more.
Yes, you're getting the caramel notes and everything from the rum, and you need something just sparkle to kind of complement it. Otherwise, all you're tasting is the rum.
Yeah, I think that cigar would probably pair better with my spice rum.
I can agree with that, or even the maple.
Or the maple, yeah.
I think the other one that is pretty common to find is the Perdomo Lot 23. I think that would be a really fantastic cigar to go to this, and you can find out in pretty much in most shops.
Yes, the Lot 23 has a ton of earth tones and one earthy stick.
Oh, it is.
So maybe that
would always really good with this.
Down to this. I think the Maduros are actually a key feature for this particular rum. It seems like you guys like that in vintage 97, and this came.
I wish this was a little shorter and a little thicker there.
Yeah, but some else. That's what else.
Yes.
Now, I noticed that you guys are drinking yours just neat with no ice. And, can you tell us a little bit about what ice does to...
Well, a couple of drops of water will open it up.
Open it up?
I have learned about water shocking spirits. And so I don't like my spirits to have that watered down taste. What happens, the reason when you add a couple of drops of water to any alcohol that quote unquote opens it up is because you'll notice the top of the glass, in this case is flared, right? Those drops of water break the surface tension and change the composition of the alcohol that's held in suspension. Okay, so what it does is it forces the aromatics to come out of the glass. When you add ice to it, you're forcing the aromatics out of whatever spirit it is. So when you bring it closer to your nose, it's going to smell. You'll have more of the smells, more of the esters that are in the alcohol being released, which will enhance what you're smelling and thereby your taste, because most of your taste is smell anyway, right? Not all of it, but a good portion of it comes from what you smell.
It's the ritual.
Indeed. But when you put ice in a beverage, that ice continues to melt. That's why with an old-fashioned, they like to use one large cube, because it will hold the body of the spirit until you get finished with the drink. Hopefully, because the ice melts slower. I don't like the taste of water shock in my mouth. It is odd to me now that I know what it tastes. So I can taste the spirit off the shelf and tell you whether or not they watered it down too quickly because of where it hits my tongue. And I know that it could have been much better had they watered it down slowly.
Okay.
A couple of drops to open it up, I don't mind that. A one large cube, I like that. But I don't want my drink to get watery before I finish drinking it, and I don't want to hammer it back in 5 minutes either.
See, I could be kind of a lightweight because I don't drink a whole lot. So I kind of like the ice at times just because sometimes I need that water down a little bit so that it's not too overpowering for me. So it doesn't hit me in the back of the tonsils and then over here and start coughing.
Fair.
Like I did a second ago. It's like, ooh, that caught me off guard.
But I think that's a lot to do with the evolution of what we're doing.
Yes.
There was a time where I had everything iced, not even just iced, it was iced. And then sometimes I'd even put some whiskey with my ice, because it was that much. And then it just got to the point, okay, I'm starting to water it down too much. And then I started to kind of involve more. It's like, I really want the flavors. And then eventually I just kind of got out of the ice depending upon what I'm drinking. For example, like a Jameson Irish whiskey, sometimes I don't have anything. And sometimes I'll throw like an ice cube in it just because I want a different flavor of the Jameson. And sometimes that pulls out more than milk. So like right now, you're probably getting a little bit different drinking experience than what like John and I are right now. And neither one are wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I still do like some cocktails. I love the El Presidente. I love the grog that we do. And the grog's got a lot of ice in it, but
The grog was good. I had the grog in restaurant, and it was very tasty. I think we did it with the. Did we do it with the green share? Or no, you did it. No, you changed it. And you put something else in it. I think it was the queen share that you put in it for us.
had to be John. Had to be the other John.
No,
What?
it was your iced. I don't know what it was. It was good though. It was tasty.
Hard to tell. I haven't had it out. Can't care.
Yeah, it's okay.
So it tells about the name Just One. What'd you pick that?
To be honest with Just Rum, my son came up with that.
Real.
Every name that when I decided to go commercial, I had to have a name for the rum, and every name that I picked had either been trademarked or was in use. You just Google search what you thought was a cool name, somebody's using it. And my son was like, well, Dad, call it Just Rum. I'm like, well, it's kind of an odd name. He's like, yeah, but if someone goes and asks a bartender for rum and Coke, and they don't know what kind of rum they want, he's like, I don't care, just rum. Now you have a top shelf cocktail, thinking you're buying well.
That's good thinking.
I love it.
Good marketing.
So yeah, it's been fun though.
That ain't good. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I had just the cigars.
There you go.
I don't know. Is Just Rum going to make just a cigar to sell with the Just Rum?
If Chris has his way, probably.
That's how we'll just say Just Rum.
You would have to make the perfect pairing to go with your top shelf ring.
He's got one metal bands, because he's got the coin, he's got the metal label.
His label could be a doubloon on it.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh yeah, wax seal with a stamp.
Ooh, I haven't seen that wax sound.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
We're to cut this out podcast. That's trademark that idea.
Trademarks are a good thing.
I was just going to say, I'm glad you guys kind of finished because I was going to go kind of different direction. A lot of us, prior to Just Rum, Captain Morgan was probably what we knew the most. Maybe a Bacardi, Malibu, some things like that. And this is not that rum. This is not what you drank when you were in college and it's spring break and you're down in Florida or whatever. This is very different, and I think a lot of our audience needs to realize this is something that you're going to want to sip. You don't want to mix this at all. And I think you'll be really glad that you don't mix this, especially allowing the first couple sips to come alive in your mouth. I think you'll be very happy with that. But the idea with this rum is you need to change the mentality that you have for rum, as if this is basically like a top shelf bourbon that you're getting ready to sit down with your buddies, you're kind of open it up. That's what we're actually doing right now. Nothing that you're going to like throw into some type of I don't know, what was hurricanes or anything like that.
Yeah.
So this definitely is a standalone rum, and it's pretty amazing. I'm thankful to have this opportunity to sit here and have a cigar and sip on this.
You know, to keep in that same lane, it is about growing up in whatever element that you are playing. I'm having a really, really, really good cigar now. The first cigar I ever smoked was a grape Schwisser Sweet back in high school. Okay.
I don't know if they claim the same mouse.
I can't fall on it. Listen, but that's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, if you want to do Schwisser Sweets in Malibu, you're welcome to do that. That would technically be a smoke and a rum.
You will be good.
I don't think I'm going to be that guy. You know,
How much does a bottle of this go for?
the 5 years, $200. We had 500 of them because it's a banner year. When we do the banner years, they're going to be very limited release. We're only going to do them one time. That's it. In this particular case, I cannot reproduce that rum because of what went into it was a one-off. We had 500 bottles of it March 2nd. We have less than 20 bottles remaining May 5th. So that's like just over 2 months for...
So I would call that a success.
I would call that a success.
So you sold 480 bottles. Crap, I need to buy one.
You know, the next banner year, we're playing with cherry wood, 2 different types of cherry wood for the 7-year. A red cherry and a black cherry. If that turns out to be what I think it's going to be, that will be my 7-year release. Yeah.
I will say we did come to the tasting event and the grand opening for the 5-year, and the amount of people that were there, it was scrounging to find parking spots. It was a packed house. We ended up leaving and coming back at the end of the night because there was no place to go, and there was standing room only outside, and it was raining that night.
That cold. It was
cold. It was very, very cold. But, you know, I was impressed when I came in and was able to try it, and it definitely. What did you compare it to? So
we pulled in the 130-year Florida Cognac anniversary rum. I had never tried it before. So what I really like about what we're doing is I can grab top shelf rums from around the world for any of our premium releases, and I can go side by side with people that come in and taste it and can see that we are at a bare minimum on par, and more often than not ahead of the rums that I bring in. When we did the 3-year Oregon Oak release, and we sold out of that relatively quickly, but when we released that, we had 1,500 bottles of it, and we were comparing it and the 3-year Maple and the 2-year American White Oak that I did. We had 3 rums, and I brought in 2 bottles of Holmes K rum. One was a 21-year-old Fiji rum. The other was a 20-year-old Barbados rum. And we did side-by-side comparisons, and I hadn't tried either one of those. The Barbados rum was $350 a bottle. The Fiji rum was $250 a bottle. And I let the people that were part of our Premium Coin Holders Club basically try them free of charge. Try these, try ours, see what you think. There's actually a couple of YouTube videos out there. If you Google search Just Rum and Premium Coin Party, you can see, because the YouTubers that were there at first were enjoying the party, and then on the second half, they were trying to find somebody who would say Florida Cognac was, or not Florida Cognac, that the Holmes K was better. And they couldn't find anybody who wanted.
Oh, that's scary. That's funny.
It was cool because it could have gone either way.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it could have been that, and I was prepared, right? If everybody would have said Holmes K was so much better, I would have been like, but it's 20 and 21 years old and we're 3. Imagine where we will be then And yet people were like, no, this is better.
That's where I look at. Like, you tested this up against, what, 125 year?
Well, it was a 130-year anniversary, and the rum was 20 years old.
But yeah, a 20-year-old rum versus a 5-year, and this stood up neck and neck with it.
That's
it, if not over the top of it. And, you know, and obviously 500 bottles in 2 months are pretty much gone. So, you know, I will be impressed when you come out with your 20-year and what that's going to taste like, and what are you going to find to compare that against? That's going to be,
yeah.
I mean, if you're already topping things up right now with a 5-year, what is your 20-year going to look like?
Yeah.
Now, you also have other stuff. It's not like you just get a $200 bottle. Here in San Diego, which is where you're located, what is your, I guess, the most unique stuff?
In the ballpark, $50.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can find those on shelves in the liquor store.
Yeah, yeah.
In order. With just rum.
Yep. Oregon, Southern Washington. Yeah.
Well, how do you become a part of the premium coin club?
All you got to do is buy one premium bottle. It comes with a premium coin.
So like this
This doubloon is one of the premium coins. The other premium coins have a colored border. So if it's a silver coin that has a red, white, or blue or burgundy label or outer rim, that's one of the premium coins. They're heavier than our standard coins. And that all came about because I was in the military for 7 years and I liked the military challenge coins. So I was inspired by those to tell the story of my distillery. So each of the coins for each release is different. And like on the back of this doubloon, there's the original pot still that I inherited. So it kind of ties it back to the distillery and my great uncle. And, you know, the very first coin that we ever did had the 3 bottles that I released the first time, which was the oak, the maple, and the white. Originally, I don't know what I was thinking. You know, you go into business, you think you know everything. I was only ever going to do 3 rums, just oak, maple, white. That's it. And then, you know, people were like, you need a spiced rush. Now I have spiced everything.
We're the good spice handle I had.
right? No, some of them spice route.
Yeah, and I'm not a sugar sweet guy, so I'll stay into this one. But that maple rum blew me away because I do not like syrup. I don't like the flavor maple. That rum is one of my favorite rums. Like that flavor, the maple flavor, that is incredible.
Well, we don't use syrups ever. I will not put sugar in a rum. Here's my philosophy. If you want to sweeten up a rum in a bottle, you can add simple syrup and give it a shake. Mm-hmm. If I put it in there, I've taken that choice away from you. And a lot of rums, they have to add sugar to make them palatable. They call it dosing or dosage or what have you, but it's legitimate. You will do it. So,
John, why don't you tell us a little bit about your actual location out here in Sandy? And I know me and my wife have come in a handful of times, and you do monthly specials. So you make special drinks. Pretty much, you make a bunch of unique drinks, but using your own rums. And so, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I like the fact that you think they're unique. Well, because their takes on old cocktails, their takes always resurrect.
Yeah, their takes on old, but it's a totally different flavor when you're using your rum with it.
Yeah. Well, we try to find things that are going to pair well with our rum. We've had some cocktails that were like, that should not be on the menu. Because the flavors of the cocktail just did not go well. But a lot of cocktails lend themselves to rum naturally. And, you know, especially like the daiquiri. You know, to me, the first daiquiri I ever had came blended in a glass and looked like Kool-Aid and tasted similar. The original daiquiri was lime juice, sugar, rum, shake it over ice, pour it in a glass. But yeah, we do try to do monthly specials. I'm trying to build up like a cocktail Bible and just a book with pretty pictures and directions and a recipe that we can give out to people. The reason we do the monthly specials is because I've never owned a bar, never been a bartender. I can't remember all of that. I got to do a little baby step. So we do a few at a time and I can learn those.
Now, how long has your location been here in Sandy?
January was a year.
So 1 year in January. And I hear there's rumors of you expanding to another location or building a new location. So where's that gonna?
That'll be just outside of town. It'll be the other side of Kelso Road.
Okay.
14-acre property.
Is that considered Sandy still, or is that
boring?
That's boring. But here's the deal. The headquarters are off of Gunderson Road at my little tiny gentleman's farm. And that's where we do the majority of the aging right now. It's my hope that we'll build that, and then ultimately Sandy's city limit will expand and take me in. I would like that. That would be great.
You don't want to have a just boring rum.
All right, with just boring rum, and I don't want to have to go through the pain of changing my labels, right? They currently say, distilled by just a distillery, Sandy, Oregon. I don't have to change all that. I like the name. It seems to roll off my tongue.
How big of a building are you planning? Like, is it going to be a lot larger bar for people to come into?
Yeah, right now we have a pretty small tasting room, and that was by design. I have a philosophy of trying to make my mistakes on the small. It's cheaper, right? You do that.
You got to set it up somehow.
And never owning a bar or a restaurant, this is a place for me to learn, so that I can manage when we go to a bigger space. I've already surveyed that property. I've stood on top of the hill. We're going to have a view of Mt Hood. The new place will be a full-on restaurant. The tasting room we have now, the kitchen space is very limited. We're limited by the equipment that we can use. But we do a pretty good job.
You have some tasty food. I mean, I do like the flatbreads.
I mean, come on, dude, look at this. It's taken me 54 years to work on this belly. Of course, we're not going to have garbage food.
And then awesome, Todd. Well, that's exciting. That's going to happen in about a year. So.
No, it's probably going to be 2 to 3 years out. I have to get the volume up to be able to support a location of that size. Sure. But that will probably be the permanent place. It's large enough that I could make enough rum to supply the nation. Like right now, there's no way I could. I can probably supply 6 or 7 states right now. If I was at full-on max capacity, pushing rum out all of the time, I can probably supply a third of the nation.
And how many states are you in right now?
We're in 2 directly where you can go to a liquor store and buy it. And I may be in Florida, depending on how my conversation goes tomorrow. So it might be 3. We'll see.
Nice.
Well, this will be posted after that conversation, so always there. Cool. Why not that cigar pair?
It's actually, it's getting better. I'm actually pulling Kettle out too. Interesting. You guys kind of suggested that, like, I don't know about that. But as I've gotten to the halfway point, I'm actually noticing more of that. And I'd say this is a great pairing.
Yeah, so I'm going to say with the Keen M, this is wonderful. I've enjoyed every second of this. I kind of wish my cigar was a little bit longer, so this is great.
Rue, I do have a question for you. We did have a comment left by one of our viewers who must not have saw the first podcast, but wants to know the story of the gloves.
So do I.
Well, here it is.
So, in a nutshell, I really don't want the cigar smoke on my hands. First of all, my wife is gracious enough to let me do cigars, but I have to minimize the smell. Right now, I'm in a t-shirt, no hat. This is one of those nights where it is what it is. She understands it, shows what I'm doing. But normally, when I'm out of a cigar, especially when I'm by myself, I'm like decked out, including the hats. The only thing is my face is exposed. But the gloves really keep that smell off my hands. The other thing is I use my hands for work, and I'm getting close to a lot of people. I don't want a cigar smell basically kind of intruding upon them. Same reason why I don't wear like cologne when I work. I don't want to be overwhelming with the smell. So, and not to mention, I also am kind of one of these guys who loves to enjoy as much of the cigar as I can. And so the cigars actually allow me to kind of go probably a few more puffs than normal to be able to like actually max out the potential of the cigar. So I just find the gloves work really well for that, and it minimizes the smell. And my wife allows me to continue to do this.
I will say that I don't wear gloves here, but at work I do wear gloves. And if I'm wearing gloves for a long period of time, I do notice that my hands sweat. And when they sweat and take the gloves off, and I can tell, like if I had a cigar the night before, even if I wash my hands, it's some of the I don't know, the residue, the tobacco, whatever is in my skin, and that I can see it kind of coming out a little bit when I sweat in the glove. It's a little discolored instead of just, And
if you wear the gloves enough, you'll start noticing kind of like almost like a brown residue that stays on there. The question becomes is, would you rather have that on the gloves or on your fingers? And so my theory is I'd much rather have the glove than be it on. That way I can take the glove off, move on, and I could be interacting with people, within a couple hours later, and they wouldn't even know that I started to have a cigar.
So it looks like we're going to trademark some gloves. They're going to be for sale. Not a just glove.
There's a few things you can do with just name.
And that's right. Just a podcast.
Just a podcast.
I like the just cigar. That was kind of.
I will say that this cigar has opened up nicely, and it's given me a great draw, and the flavor has really come to life now that it's kind of coming through. So with this being, I think it was a 97 rated cigar when they reviewed it.
Oh, wow.
If it wasn't for the light up, I can definitely see that. It's got great flavors, and it is starting to pair a little bit better with this rum, but it's still a little light, I think, for the complexity of the rum.
Now, I want to add, too, because I know the Rose of Sharon's a wonderful steak. Customers seek that one out. They have come to my shop, seriously, been like, do you have the Rose of Sharon? No, well, I've got these other Southern Draw. No, I'm looking for the Rose of Sharon. But the floral notes in that cigar are outstanding. So, in your opinion, can you taste the difference? Because I picked up some floral notes because the Queen Share, right? As you said, in this drink, can you pick out the difference of the floral notes?
I'm not getting, I'm tasting floral notes, but I'm not able to tell if it's coming from the cigar or from the rum. I mean, the rum is a little overpowering. So I would say more of the flavor that I'm getting is strict. I'm getting kind of the caramel and a little bit of floral notes and everything from the rum. And the cigar is just, it's just the cigar at this point.
So here, I'm sorry, no, carry on. Well, you two actually, a few months ago, you were here, you were having the spiced rum, so the just rum spiced, and you really like the Perdomo Habano. And I actually went and grabbed that. I've yet to smoke the two together, but what do you think about the Habano Perdomo with the 5-year?
I think the Habano would be probably pretty tasty with it, actually.
Yeah, the Habano's going to have a lot of pepper and spice in it. So that could actually add to the flavors of that rum and make that a completely different experience. Because right now what I'm tasting is similar. So it's a good pairing because they're similar notes. But if you try to go something contrary to what you're drinking, you have to be careful. Some of that spicy stuff could really be terrible. On the contrary, to be really good, it could pair very nice. So you might try that. And Perdomo is going to be a smooth, consistent cigar area.
I do like it. And you'll be able to find the Perdomos pretty much anywhere.
Yes.
That's it. It's the other thing is not just what are we doing tonight, but there are cigars out there. You're going to be able to find them walking in a cigar shop and you want to pair it because you got a bottle of 5-year or the spiced, the oak.
What's the rating on this cigar?
That cigar there, I want to say it was like a 91 rating. Like I said, that is a Vitus 97. So that was a great cigar back in 97 when it first came out. The reason I tried those is because my buddy who got me into cigars, that's what he was smoking in 97.
Well, I'll be honest. I got them because of the ring. That was super cool.
I got those rings all over my house. And yeah, I was keeping them, and now I'm not because I've gotten so many of them. I've gone through a couple cases of those cigars, and they're definitely tasty. It's a great cigar for the golf course too.
This is on par with many of the cigars that I had in Cuba. Not as good as the best ones that I had there, but better than a lot of the ones that I had.
So the outer wrap on that is hard. Like if you were to compare that Southern Draw Rose, it is a soft cigar. That's a hard wrap. Not like Fire Dragon actually. And I'm discovering recently too that I'm kind of liking those. When I first got into cigars, I'd feel it like, oh, that's hard. That's gonna be a hard pull. That is actually not the case.
No, that's about a hard pull.
No.
I would actually say, if this is me grading it, I would probably push this up to like a 93. I think this
is why did I rate it higher? I'm just not 100% sure. I haven't actually looked what it's being rated lately, but I know it was a pretty high-end top cigar in 97. There wasn't as many brands out in 97, so Macanudo has always been more.
For some reason, the 93 is coming. That cigar, I think it was a 93, but it could be 91. Yeah,
I have smoked a few cigars before, but you guys know the friend of mine that got me into cigars. And this guy, he's gotten me further on my cigar education, and it steered me really well on some really nice sticks.
Well, Chris, you're about done with yours, so let's wrap this up. So,
Sounds good.
the cigar you're smoking, is that a good pairing for this rum?
Absolutely. Yep. I wouldn't say this is the one to grab. You got to get it out, but it is very good. I love it. I've enjoyed every second of it. Cane and Maduro. Try it if you like a Maduro.
John, what's your thought on what you're smoking?
I think this pairs really nicely with the 5-year. I think that I need to try a few more sticks with the 5-year to pick the cigar, but this is certainly a good choice.
Now, Rue, you're smoking the same thing as John, so what's your thought?
I actually, I think one, if you have the time, this is a longer cigar. I think this is a fantastic pairing with this specifically. But because this is more of a limited roots rum, I actually would even say this could be great with the oak as well as even the maple. And I think the maple specifically would allow you to kind of pull out even a little bit more like sweeter notes off the cigar. So I think you have some rums to kind of play with the cigar. So the point being is, go ahead and grab a couple of these, put them in your humidor, and then when you're sitting down having a maple or oak just rum, I think this would be a great one to pair with it.
And then when I'm smoking here, I would say that this probably is not the best pairing for this rum, but I would say that this would probably pair really well with the maple, in my opinion. It's a little bit, like you said, floral and a little bit lighter, and the maple, the sweetness in that would definitely go together.
Just off of your description, I think that would be a great pairing with a Lamarita made up of guns.
That we'll have to try it.
Now would be an add probably the spice rum. What do you think on that? I think the spice rum with that one, having the different, a little bit of spices with that for all, but with the spice rum, I think you'll just find a lot of different notes that are going on in your palate. I think you'd really enjoy that.
So guys, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for all of you who like and subscribe to this, and like and subscribe to Just Rum, and come out to Sandy and check out what he has to offer, and be on the lookout street and grab a cigar. Exactly. Be on the lookout for his new location in a couple of years to come, and check out the grand opening when that's here.
Well, we are opening up outdoor seating, so that'll be nice. You can come have a cocktail and pick a cigar up from Chris or from me.
I will definitely be there. My wife will come and drink, and I'll sit outside and smoke and have a drink too, and
I'll join you.
I'll be happy with that. All right, thanks, Daddy. Thanks for joining us.